What's your pleasure, sir?
All right, well, welcome to a new episode of the Cinephiles and Cenobites podcast. I'm your host, Onofre, and with me, my creative life partner, Mox.
Hey.
Today we have a local
That always makes me laugh.
filmmaker, Anela Ling, on the show. Welcome to the show.
Yes. And we are going to talk to her about her forthcoming film, Mo.
Yay.
I saw a campaign going on for that Indiegogo. How did that go?
It went okay. It was kind of a tough time that we launched it because we should have launched it like a long time ago, but then a million things came up. And then by the time we did launch it, it was like right in the peak of the whole Mauna Kea stuff. So I felt really crappy about asking for money during that whole thing. But everyone's like, just do it. So we launched and we did okay. We got about half of what we probably needed, but I was really surprised by all the donations, actually.
Oh, nice.
Is there a reason why you chose Indiegogo, say, over Kickstarter? Because he always wants to know why.
Oh, yeah. So Kickstarter's a lot more, I guess they're a lot more strict about a lot of things, and you have to do a lot more work in order to, I don't know, advertise or get your stuff out there. I just feel like Indiegogo is a lot more, is like a little bit more laid back or like low key than Kickstarter. So I don't know. That's just always how I felt because with that other film, Malcolm and Mackay, they used Kickstarter their second time, and it's just like it's such a runaround. And I wanted to keep things pretty, I guess, chill.
Sure.
Right. So you kind of use your experience working on that previous film, taking it into this one. You're like, nope, no Kickstarter. It is a pain in the ass.
Pretty much. It's just like a different vibe too. The Kickstarter, I feel like, is more for objects. I don't know, products, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. As opposed to like a creative idea or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just had better experiences with Indiegogo, and we did flexible funding too, so we got to keep whatever we earned. So we weren't trying to do anything crazy like reach this goal or nothing. That's scary.
Right. What is it like trying to piece together a budget for a film?
Oh God, where do I start? So I had to do a budget for the PIC grant that I got. It was part of the requirements for applying in the first place. A budget of like $40,000.
Wow.
And I didn't know where to put everything. I was really just kind of guessing, but just have to anticipate everything. So I guess, anticipated crew costs, anticipated equipment costs, location costs, but food, that kind of stuff. Like you just have to think about the days and the people. But there's so much stuff that just crops up all of a sudden. Like we didn't really budget for a lot of equipment because we were supposed to get gear from the film program at UH. Like that was something that was promised. We talked about back even before, like last year, like long before. But then I was getting really close, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, they can't do it anymore." And we didn't budget for gear, so that really screwed us money wise. And then of course, all locations that we shot in were like public city parks, state parks, or something, and they all have different requirements. Like for shooting at Judd Trail, we had to hire a doe care officer as well as a regular officer to watch the street, and they're $60 an hour.
Oh.
So I didn't budget for that because I didn't anticipate that kind of cost. So, I mean, you can budget as well as you think, but there's so many things you can't anticipate without like without good experience. So now that I know, I feel a lot more comfortable making a budget next time.
So when you first filled it out, kind of not having the experience of doing the budget, did they kick it back to you and help you with that? Or they were just like, okay, this is what you said it's going to cost? Cool.
They did. I mean, I had a mentor and I would send her what I had. I showed it to my friend who's in producing. I worked on it with my producer a little bit, and I all kind of had like combined experience to like add different things. But like they did tell us like, hey, add money here for insurance, add money here for um, L&D, stuff like that. More random crap that I would never even don't even know what it is. They did, and they were like, you need to budget for closed captioning and all the printing and your so it did go through a lot of changes, but it was still really early. Like I submitted that budget maybe last October, and we didn't start shooting until May. So a billion things changed.
When did the producers kind of help you group the days? I've always been interested how different people like group the days, and like how do you know if this is a 3-day shoot or like a 12-day shoot?
Shoot days, yeah. So the first person who I really got on my crew was my producer Jonah, and he's awesome. And you really need your producer to get everything going. So the schedule was really based around his schedule because he's super swamped. He shoots weddings and he's busy
Wow.
all the time. So all my shoot days were super spread out. It was on the weekends because we were anticipating, because we hired children actors and would have school, and we wanted people to be able to work on it and not have to worry about work. But in terms of like how many days we chose, it was really kind of about how many locations we had, how long each scene was. We had to anticipate how long it would take us to shoot based on how difficult it was. We shot for 6 days plus a pickup, but honestly, I would have killed for at least an 8-day shoot. I think that would have been ideal.
And you mean like 8 days straight, or?
Just 8 days flat, or like
Ah,
in general. I honestly, I was trying to picture us shooting 8 days straight because a lot of film productions do it that way.
yeah.
But I was so grateful for like the week in between shoot days.
Oh, right.
We had so much to figure out and prepare and time and plan. It's just I couldn't imagine doing everything every day in a row without it being like exhausting and horrible.
Wow.
Right. Did you ever have a case where, say, right, one weekend and you don't finish that scene and you need to pick it up, say, in 2 weeks or whatever, and you need to match continuities? Did you have to encounter that kind of problem?
Oh my God, absolutely. One of the things that ended up being really difficult is these parks that we filmed in, these public places, they close at 10 for shooting. And then on top of that, we're shooting at night. So we have to wait for it to get dark. It's also summer, so it doesn't get dark until late. Kids, and kids can't stay up that late or shoot very long. So a lot of nights we shot for 2 hours, which is nothing. It's like basically nothing. And so one of our hardest days was this party day that me and my DP Sawyer, we planned to a T. We went there every day to like plan out timing and shots to make sure we could fit it in like this really tight amount of time. And then on the day, everything just went horribly wrong, of course. I could plan it to the T, but like anticipating everyone else and how long things take, everything got behind. So we lost a lot of light. And then the lighting didn't match in the scene. Like it was like bright 1 second and then like dark in the next shot. So we actually had to come back and do pickups for that, which wasn't a big deal, but I was kind of bummed because I lost some cool shots. But also, yeah, just not having enough time to get everything we wanted. And even with all the planning, we couldn't get a lot of shots. We had to narrow it down to like maybe 6 shots max, which is nothing. And
Wow.
it was a real bummer. I feel like a lot of things, fell to the wayside because of the timing issues. That's why I would want more days so we can shoot at the same place twice. But it was such a nightmare. But yeah.
So knowing that you were going to go in and maybe not have like a full day, um what shots did you start with? Because I know you're like more about story than visuals. Did you start with like
Mm.
scenes that are impactful for the story, or did you like get away with easier, maybe cool visual shots?
Well, that's the thing. At the end of the day, if the focus is your narrative, you have to make sure the story comes across. So focusing on the story, I really had to just do a lot of the basic storytelling shots. Like I couldn't I love doing these weird experimental things in B-roll or whatever, but we just didn't have time for that. I had to make sure the story was clear first. So I did sacrifice a lot of like artistic stuff for narrative. Because if the
Did
story's not there, then it doesn't matter.
right?
Yeah.
Then it's music video collage.
Mhm.
Do you kind of like begrudge any of the shots you might have had to skip getting because you needed to get the story shots? Like, were there any shots you were like kind of in love with, but like, oh fuck it, we can't shoot this. We gotta shoot the actual meat of
Mm,
the story.
I guess I just really wanted a lot of I guess technically they'd be considered B-roll, but
Mm-hmm.
and I just really wanted to be really loose with the film, especially when we were working with these kids and working with the extras. I just wanted the camera to like roll and let them do their thing because they're so funny, but we had no time, like zero time to get any of these like light moments that just happen naturally or whatever. So it was really like we had to get what we had to get.
What was the process like of I guess finding the kids and then working with them?
Oh, well, so since we had a bit of a budget, we hired a casting director, um, and he did a call out and he got us some kids for like an initial the pre-audition kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up not going so well. It was just it was just weird. I felt like me and my producer weren't actually supposed to be there. Like the casting director said he was going to handle it himself, but like I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to be involved, and I emphasized very clearly to him that like I want any kid ever. Like I don't want to lose out on kids who are maybe like less experienced or not from an agency or something like that. Like I want
Right.
everybody. And like if they even remotely have this vibe, bring them in. But then like on the actual day, like he ended up turning away all these kids that I thought were perfect, or he didn't actually respond to the emails, or a bunch of other weird stuff. Like the way he was talking to them was really weird. And me and Jonah just like didn't know what to do. It was just kind of a whole weird situation. So after that, we ended up just conducting our own auditions.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, because the first round it just wasn't working for us. So we did our own auditions and we just put out flyers. Really, we just put it up on social media. We had people ask their friends to ask their friends who had kids or something to come out, and it worked out really well that way. Actually, we got a lot of really good kids. But I guess as for working with them, I, it's hard to explain because I feel like kids and adults are very different, um, obviously. But when I worked with them, I don't know, I kind of treated them like adults. Like even though they were like 10 and 15, but I told them exactly what the story was about. I told them exactly how their character was supposed to feel. I told them like motion and all that stuff. And then they did it. I kind of, in a lot of ways, I just let them do their own thing. So, like, if they needed guidance, I just told them, like, how they're supposed to be feeling here. I'm sure it's no different than working with adult actors, but I feel like people, especially working with kids, they'll have, like, the mindset that they need to, like, baby them or something. And that
Right.
might be really young kids where you kind of just have to, like, feed them the lines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I had really high faith in the kids who we chose. So like they nailed it. Like they did great. And a couple times I had to do a line read for them and like show them exactly what needed to be done. But like they did it, and they were such good sports. Like I didn't have to. I wasn't disappointed with a lot of the performances. Yeah, I was really impressed by them.
Now, did they come from previous acting experience or an agency or anything? Or
The older one did. Kikoa's character. He was from a modeling agency, I think. But the younger one, I don't. I think he didn't come from an agency. I think that was his first like film experience, but he did work in like school plays, that kind of thing. They were relatively. They're not like super. I wouldn't say you would have seen them before in anything.
but they have some kind of experience. Did you find
Yeah.
it difficult to, I guess, convey the themes or the subject matter? Because it's kind of a heavy story.
A little bit, yeah. The script ended up changing a little bit as we shot. Kiko's character, the older cousin, he was supposed to be a lot more of like a sarcastic, kind of deadpan, sardonic type of character, but I was having trouble getting that kind of read from the actor because he played it a lot more harsher or more serious.
Oh,
So I ended up cutting out a lot of the jokes because it just wasn't working anymore with the rest of the film.
Mhm.
So theme wise, I think they could bring it. It's just more of like I lost a little bit of my original intentions. It still works. It's just different.
Feels like it's a little bit darker though, the way
Yeah,
that
it's
he
a lot
perceives.
more dramatic. Yeah. So like my original intention with the script was for it to be like really lighthearted and like kind of funny, but like sad. Now
Right.
it's so much more of like a dramedy now. Yeah, I still have like jokes, but it's a lot more of like a heavy film, I guess.
Oh no, I know you want to ask it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's Anela,
Yes.
any storyboarding done on this short?
Oh yeah, a ton.
Yes.
Applause sound effect. I know it
Okay.
already.
Okay. Applause. Oh, sweet. How important do you think storyboarding is when it comes to film production?
I think it depends. I like to do it because I want to see it, but I also want to be able to show my DP. So I worked really, really close with Sawyer on this, and I feel like other productions, the DP just shows up sometimes, and you have the shot list and you shoot. But I really wanted Sawyer to see what I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do storyboards so I could like show him, and it was really helpful for us to draw it out because we could see, you know, where our coverage was, like if we should switch around here and get more of this, or are we seeing this too much? Is this cool? Whatever. Like it was like a visual thing. And then we went on location, and then we also did digital storyboards as well. So that was really helpful. And then even for
Wow.
the first scene, we shot the scene with like us acting in it, so we could try and cut it together and see how it was working. So Sawyer and I worked like really hard on prep.
Yeah, I like
Sounds like it. Yeah.
pre-production is so important. Like I think.
So important. It's really neglected.
It so is. Especially, I think the more indie you get, where it's run and gun, it's like, yeah, right there. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
put the
I mean,
camera
that
there.
works in some films. I know films that they'll just show up on the day with a shot list and then just shoot it, and it turns out awesome. But considering our time restraints and like the kid rules and all that stuff, like we really had to know what we were doing.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
It,
I think when you're dealing with money, like it's, I think there's more pressure.
Oh my God, so much pressure. Yeah.
Like, and
and it's like other people's money too, right? It's like
yeah.
responsibility and shit. Like, so, Anel, is this your first experience, I guess, with like a legitly budgeted film where you're at the helm as the writer and director?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've worked on films with money before in like a different role, but that was back in school, and our budget was like $500. This is my first time, especially as a writer director, having a budgeted film. So it's just like I'm like jumping in head first into a bunch of stuff I've never done before.
Woo! A budget with a comma in it.
Now, how
Yeah.
Right, right. How do you like that versus when you're, just alone in your room writing up the story? Like, how do you like both of those experiences, or which one is like fuck? But
What do you mean, writing and directing versus
versus just the writing part, yeah, where you can like
art?
imagine anything versus oh no, I can't control the sun.
Oh, I love that. I do. I love being out there with the crew, just and like seeing it actually come to life. Writing is a beast. I struggle so much to even get anything done or written down. Not fun for me a lot of the times. Like I have a ton of ideas, but like I can't do it. I don't know what to do with them. And but like once it's all written and once it's ready to go, it's just like then you could just be really creative with everything else, and like that's when it gets really fun.
Oh, so you kind of just go through the writing as a means to an end because you're thinking about the day and actually putting it together. And
Kinda. I mean, back in school, I didn't do narratives. I did a lot of experimental films. So those were fun because my storyboarding and my writing was basically just drawing what I wanted to see and then thinking about the backstory to that. But writing dialogue and like making the story make sense and having to be like realistic, it's so much more difficult than just having something kind of poetic.
right.
Yeah, it's just harder. It's just hard.
So speaking of poetic, do you want to talk a little bit about what your film's about and maybe give context to what Moho is or
Sure.
means?
Um. So, so it's about. I'm so bad at these elevator pitches, but it's about these two cousins. You know, even the younger cousin, 15 and 10. The older cousin's mother had recently passed away, and this all happens off camera. And film opens with the older cousin basically he's babysitting his younger cousin, and the younger cousin, he's basically the goal for him is to he takes him around to these different haunted spots, quotation, around the island as like a way of comforting him by trying to prove that ghosts and spirits in the afterlife are real. But because they both have very different philosophies on this, the older cousin before he like pushes this all away. He gets mad. He knows like everything in his power to not pay attention to his mother's death, while the younger cousin is pushing all this stuff in his face. So they just butt heads throughout the film, and it's about like the guilt of mourning and not mourning correctly. I know there's a lot of stuff I wanted to come across with like preservation and memory and just there's a lot going on.
Did the story, or I guess its theme, come from anywhere specifically, or you just kind of have always wanted to tell this kind of story, this kind of narrative?
No, it's a very personal story. I mean I talked about this in I think my pitch, but um, I was really I remember growing up, I watched a lot of films and they talk about, or it's like a story about someone dying basically, and the main character goes to like this big dramatic thing where they're grieving and they're yelling and they're screaming and crying and all everyone talks about it or whatever. But in my experience, no one really talked about it. So, because my father passed away when I was in high school, and I just remember not talking about it with like anybody. And because of this, I really felt like I didn't mourn or something. I didn't do it properly, and that made me feel guilty. So I don't know, that kind of built up over the years. So whenever I watch movies like that, I'm just like, that's not my experience. Not everybody has that. Not everybody is able to go to somebody and cry and all this stuff. So he called the older cousin when he's pushing this all away. It's more of like you can't face it. And I never found comfort in um those platitudes where people are like, oh, they're always with you or stuff like
Right,
that.
right, right.
That never brought me comfort. It's just empty words at the end of the day. So with Mika's character, the younger cousin, trying to do all these helpful things, it's like, it's not going to work. It's not going to do anything. It doesn't make a difference. So, that's kind of where it comes from.
So I guess what's next for you? Are you looking for more shorts to explore different things, or are you going to take on a longer format?
I would love to just continue working like this, I guess. I would love to do another writing, directing, or even just directing types of positions. I've never tried to write a feature. I would love to take a shot at it. I have ideas, but I've never tried. So that would be like a whole monster. I mean, shorts are hard enough.
What's up next for the Mo film? I know its premiere is on the way.
Well, we're in post still. I got the picture locked and I gave the drive to my colorist and my VFX artist. I've given it to my sound designer, and I have composers working right now on composing pieces. So right now it's kind of out of my hands. It's almost done. I'm hoping it'll be good and ready by premiere time, but stuff happens. So
Fingers crossed.
All right. So, Anela, please, if you can give us a top 6 list of your favorite films of all time.
I forgot to think about this. I remember you mentioned it before. Okay.
At the top of your head.
There's a lot of movies I love, but there's always those movies that just pop into your head, I guess. So I guess one of my favorite movies is Black Swan.
Really?
Wow. Oh my God.
Whoa.
You do like depressing narratives.
Ooh,
oh my God.
She went dark.
I can never understand that guy's work, other than The Wrestler, which I think is his most audience-friendly movie. That dude is just way smarter than me. The Fountain, fucking Pie, Requiem for a Dream, like damn.
Noah. Do you like Noah?
Or Mother?
Was it Noah?
Oh my God, yeah. Mother.
Mother? Wait, don't spoil it. I didn't see that yet. So
you've only had 5 years.
I'm still getting over Black Swan.
So that's straight up. That's art. I don't even know why it's starring famous people. That's an art house movie.
Is it an art house movie? Really? Mother.
As fuck. Starring fucking Oscar winners. I have no idea what that movie's about.
Like I remember I'm like, Marks, let's go watch that movie and review it.
I was like, fuck no.
No. No.
I'm not trying to sound stupid on record. It's like, okay, so there's this lady, and then she has a husband, and then a bunch of strangers show up, and then it gets madness.
Her husband is Javier Bardem, right?
Allegory.
Oh, it's Allegory. I've heard that. I didn't get it.
It's Oh,
yeah, like Animal Farm. But yeah, I don't know what it's in Allegory. Not Mother Nature or something, right? Mother Earth. Ooh.
You should look it up because there's a lot of really interesting theories.
Well, back to Black Swan. Yeah, yes, Black Swan.
Yes.
Good pick.
I used to be really into like psychological thrillers, and that movie just fit the bill in a million ways. I love ballet too and classical music, so I just love that movie.
Okay, then that's your movie. Damn, that's all of that.
So you think Natalie Portman pulled it off as a dancer?
She did great. She studied for months. There was all this controversy with that other dancer.
Sure, yeah.
But like, who cares? I mean, she still danced.
Yeah, all right.
And acted, did all the crap, but whatever.
Was it Oscar worthy though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything I don't understand, I would just be like, "Yep, that's worth the Oscar."
A lot of movies aren't Oscar worthy, and they win Oscars, so I don't really trust the Oscars anyway.
Right. Can you give me an example?
Especially in the couple years. Yes, please, Anela. We want to hear. What do you think?
Well, what do you think? I want to hear.
What do I think? What?
Got Oscars or Oscar praise, but did not deserve.
I got one right now.
Okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
What Rhapsody?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
From last
year. Okay. I still haven't seen that. Oh, you just like total trash or just overhyped?
I thought it was total trash.
Oh wow. Cool.
I mean, that might just be a bias because I watched it on my computer, so I wasn't like in the best environment. It was like post nomination. There was a lot of other films I liked way better, but like seriously though, after seeing it, I was like,
"What's the big deal?"
It's I don't know.
That's kind of how I was for Get Out. I didn't think Get Out was by any means a piece of trash, but just I saw it months after the Oscar buzz and it made $85 trillion and all of that. I was like, this movie's going to change my life. Nope, it's Stepford Wives with black people,
You
which
really,
is
yeah,
really cool, but didn't get it. I didn't. It's like, wow. Okay, that's an interesting one. I still haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. Ono said he liked it, but here's the thing: 90% of everything he loves, so it's really hard to gauge.
Yeah, I think
Except
that
for
was the.
some reason, he hates Blood and Chocolate. Do you know the movie I'm talking of, Anela? Blood and Chocolate.
part of the book.
I think it was a WB movie or
It
a
was not a
Upin.
WB. It's like
That's
it's
that
based on
quality
like a
though. That's
YA
that.
kind of thing, but it is not YA movie. All right,
It's the
it's
kind of
about a
movie
type of
that they would
werewolves,
play after Buffy the Vampire Slayer was playing, on TV.
which is awesome.
Oh my
Anyway,
God, it has horrible reviews.
Oh my god.
oh, you're looking it up right now?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I guess I'm in the minority, but I think that is just a beautiful horror movie, and
Yeah, you gotta
everyone
look
hates
past.
it,
You gotta look
and
past the
it didn't get any
quality, the
awards.
directing, the acting, and then you'll get something. You might see what Mox
No,
is.
you don't get to talk shit because you like fucking. Oh, I can't even. Any shitty movie you can think of, Vanilla, he's probably like, that's a great movie.
Probably defend it with my life. Any movie except
Every movie except that one. I think it's just because I told you I liked it. I really loved that movie. Then you're like, oh, piece of shit. Fucking movie sucks.
all right.
Okay.
Onward with the list.
Okay.
What do we got?
I love the Truman Show.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. Huge. He's a huge influence on me growing up. I mean, I love like all of his like serious role movies, like Eternal Sunshine, also.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, I love his funny movies. He's just, yeah. And Truman Show is one of my favorites growing up.
Yeah.
Who expected it to be so poignant, right? Fucking movie made me cry.
That's super, super great.
I guess I gotta actually sit down and watch that thing. I think I've only seen the ending.
Really?
Only the ending?
Like I've seen bits and parts of it, but like
out of context, it has no weight.
Yeah. Like I get it. People are watching him. So okay, now he wants to escape. All right, I'll just fast forward.
I won't hear one more lecture on lovers in the Arctic Circle or whatever the fuck until you finish watching the Truman Show.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Great pick. I love that one.
Yeah. Thank you. I love Lord of the Rings.
Which one in particular? Just like the whole epic.
I love the second and third movie. It's hard for me to choose between the two. The second one was my favorite for a really long time, and then I watched the third one, and then just the conclusion kind of made the whole series for me. It was a huge impact on me. Getting into film, actually.
The Lord of the Rings, really?
Wow. The Lord of the Rings. I specifically remember I used to have this tiny little TV in my room with a DVD player in it, and I would just like put movies on, and so like I remember watching The Return of the King for the first time on this tiny little screen, and I was just like, this is fucking amazing. Like the music, the visuals, the story, like everything, and I like really fell in love with that whole thing.
That's true. Nice. It is a spectacle, and it does hit with a punch.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself like? Do you want to work up to that level of filmmaking? Like, you want to be in charge of like $500 million, tell like a 3-hour epic, that kind of thing?
That'd be pretty sick, but I don't know if I could handle
it. That's a lot of pressure too. I mean, thank you, Peter Jackson, for introducing me to the LOTR series. Yeah.
Dude started with what? Dead Alive, right? Went on to the Frighteners, and then he's doing epics.
Frightener, right? I had no idea who the guy was. Like, who was Peter Jackson? Frighteners? Okay, that was scary. Sure.
Hey, Anela, what do you think about remakes? What's your opinion on remakes?
This depends. I mean, there's a lot of remakes that, actually do film or subject material like justice. Oh, one of my favorite, I mean, it's not a remake, it's more of an adaptation, but like some remakes, that people don't even realize are remakes that are super good, kind of like A Star Is Born.
Mm-hmm.
Second remake, and I don't know, this version of it was amazing, and it's just like a good way for people to like find out about the previous versions, There's like a lot of remakes that are like super trash that kind of like scare people away from the subject or the old, not the subject material, the old version, kind of like the Old Boy remake,
Right.
like where they like Americanized it. I didn't see it, but I saw enough of it to know that it was just not the same. Not in the same. I think if you're gonna do a remake, something to preserve is at least like, I don't know, the general theme and message, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
It's really
you can't change the ending, fuckers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm if they just have to be good to be a good remake.
Not just like if you hear of a remake, you're not automatically like biased against it. Like, fuck that. Why would they do that? I'm never watching it.
I guess if it's like my favorite thing of all time and the remake looks like crap, then I'd be like, okay. But if it's like a new take and it's something different and maybe something that could be better, even like I'd be curious.
That's fair enough.
I want them to remake Harry Potter. I think that'd be interesting.
Really? Wow.
Too soon. Too soon. No,
Yeah, it's too soon, but maybe a bit from now. I'd love to see a remake.
I'd watch it if they went dark as fuck. I know it got progressively darker, but I got progressively less interested. I don't know if that's because I also got progressively older and maybe like aged out. But I wouldn't mind if they went like an R-rated Harry Potter.
That'd be sick.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be really scary.
Right, because all of the kids who grew up with it are like adults now, and now they can watch it like with adult vision. I don't know if that'll like ruin the subject matter though. Seeing Harry Potter say fuck and shit and
that'd be, I don't know. That'd be fun.
Where's my fucking wand? Yeah, that that might. Yeah. Okay.
So we got Black Swan, Truman Show, L2R.
So another one I love is Amadeus.
Wow, I love that too. I love the fucking climax.
Really?
I love the movie.
Dude, he straight murders the dude by forcing him on the bed to compose out his last symphony, and he's like dying.
You think that's how it like? Is that what you saw?
I mean, that's the ending.
Like he worked Mozart to death.
He worked Mozart to death, and the funny thing is, it kills him too because this is the greatest piece of greatest piece of music like ever, and he's never going to be remembered. Anyway, though, great choice. I haven't, and no one's ever brought that one up again.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of my favorite movies were movies that I had no previous knowledge of. My sister used to buy a lot of DVDs, and my grandma actually bought that movie, and I just put it on, no reason. I didn't even watch it in one go. It was so long. I watched it in like 2 goes, and by like the end of it, I was like bawling my eyes out. And now it's one of my favorite movies. It's just, I love classical music and stuff with music. It's really great.
Yeah, great pick. Fuck, now I gotta look at my own list.
It's hard. I have a lot of movies that I just like a lot. It's just hard to pick what my favorites are. I guess another one of my favorites is Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, the Tarantino.
Wow. I really liked Tarantino growing up. And like that movie is another movie I just put on one day because my sister bought it. And I ended up loving it. I love the over the topness of it. It's just like a really fun, it's just like a really great movie.
Yeah. So out of all his movies, Tarantino's movies, you like Inglourious Bastards the most?
Probably. And then behind that, I really like Kill Bill.
See, I didn't get on board with that until the second one came out.
Me too.
Like, all the hype was built around it, so I'm like, I gotta watch the first one then. All right. Well, that was over the top.
Yeah, it's a total style thing. I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood recently, and I really didn't like it.
Wow.
See,
yeah.
Is he hitting the wall, do you think, artistically? He's just kind of...
I have no idea. I think it's something... I mean, I talked to this woman about it. She's way older than me. Like, that was, like, her time. And she was talking to me about that film and just how accurate it was to, like, her experiences living up there during that time. And, I don't know, kind of painted it in, like, context for me. And I think it'd be something that would be appreciated by people who really could understand that time.
I think that would probably be the longest of his movies too, right? 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's
Fucking no,
long.
I think that other one, Hateful Eight, I think it's like 3 fucking hours.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That was just storytelling at its most Tarantino-ish. Just get a
Yeah,
bunch of
honestly, it
characters in a
felt
house
like
and then just
kind of
talking.
like, masturbatory almost for himself to just like write long sweeping dialogue passages. Like, look at how I write. But I mean, it's great and violent and a lot of surprises. But I don't know. I don't really like nonlinear storytelling. Like, fucking just tell it from beginning to end.
All right. So we got 5. We got one more.
We have
for
5.
us?
That's
And the
5.
last one.
This is hard because
I don't.
I've been thinking about films this whole time, and I just have so many films that I just like love for like different reasons. I feel like I need to throw like a really art house film in there just to balance it out, or some old film or something.
do the most art house film, the most experimental film you can think of that you would watch
Okay.
more than once.
This is not an art, like a super art house film or a super experimental film, but I love this film. This is movie, The Double Life of Veronique. I think it's Swedish. No, I don't know, but it's kind of about this woman who has like pretty much like a doppelganger, and they like feel each other in their separate lives. And I just remember thinking it was like super beautiful. I love the music, the way it looked. I don't know. I just really liked it. It was a very visceral experience to watch it. But when I rewatched it recently, I just thought I liked the first half so much better than the second half, and like it loses me at the end. But
Wow.
it's like a really beautiful film though, just to like see.
Sure. I think it says
Double Life.
one is in Poland, the other in France.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. And they never meet?
I guess you gotta watch it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I have so much more movies. Can I just say them?
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
please.
Okay. I love Watchmen. Love that movie. It's super misunderstood. It's one of my
It
favorites.
is. Hell yeah, another high five for that. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, fuck Watchmen, fuck Zack Snyder.
Dude, I love that.
So that's a
But
Zack
it's-
Snyder movie? I didn't see
love
it.
His best one.
Really? It wasn't 300?
No,
No?
300 sucks.
Oh, come on. This is Sparta?
It's a bunch of dudes on protecting a mountain. Like, that's as action movie as you get. Watchmen is so fucking layered.
No? Oh, okay.
It's just a
And
great
meta as shit.
adaptation of the comic. It's just like an example of a really good adaptation. I read the comic too, and of course the comic is a lot more dense and a lot more detailed and a lot more everything. But the adaptation was just good. It was, I don't know, it was fun. That's for sure.
I'll check it out.
I think
on
a
that
lot of the hate
recommendation.
just comes from like snobs. They're just like, ew, adaptation. And Zack Snyder, Watchmen sucks.
Why do people
Yeah,
hate
it's really
Zack Snyder? He made one of the best remakes. He's an example of the best remake.
That's true. He actually is.
Dawn
That's why
of the
fuck
Dead.
Zack Snyder, but fucking Dawn of the Dead was dope. Watchmen was dope.
Well, what else you got?
I love Whiplash. Great movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Whiplash. What else do I got? Once Upon a Time in the West. That's one of my favorite movies. It made me stop hating westerns.
Really?
For real?
That was the one?
Wow, that was the one.
Well, I actually seen a couple westerns since then, and I don't. Maybe I never hated them, but have you seen that one? Sergio Leone.
I don't really like a lot of the spaghetti westerns, but what turned it for me was Unforgiven.
The Searchers is a good one.
Oh,
too.
that is.
I love God. Oh, Prisoners. I love that movie.
There's that dark psychological thriller.
I think it was Villeneuve before his other big stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Hugh Jackman, Prisoners?
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
So great.
Okay.
I love a good crime.
I gotta check that out. Oh,
and
man.
fucking Paul Dano as the bad guy again. every fucking movie. Bad guy, but you know what? That's because he looks like the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. I didn't. Oh.
I would pull Paul Dano out of a lineup and be like, "Fuck, that guy did it. Guarantee he did it.
Oh, Paul Dano.
He's the guy.
Oh,
Point of interest.
um,
Person of interest. Yes.
what's that traveling movie? Damn.
Oh, fucking Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Princess or
Yes,
some shit.
that's him.
My Little Sunshine.
Yeah.
What the fuck name is that? That's a dope one too.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I grew up. That was one of my favorite movies growing up.
really? Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time though.
It's still good.
It's one of those movies I watched after all the hype and hoopla, and I guess my expectations were high. Kind of like Get
You got to
Out.
watch it more than once. I didn't like it the first time around, and then I watched it again just to put it in the background. And I'm like, oh my god, you get absorbed into the family drama.
You do.
And then
you do,
when
yeah.
Paul Dano runs out, when he finds out he can't go to the fucking Air Force, and then she comes and she like puts her arm on him and says, "It's all right. Come on, let's go back to the shitty van."
So, no,
Shitty life.
where's Olive? Where's Olive? That's her name, Olive.
Olive.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it so long. I really want to watch it now. Such a good ensemble film.
It is. It is. Toni Collette.
I love Toni Collette. She's amazing in The Sixth Sense.
She is. She is. She was just amazing in that other one too. I think Hereditary. I think that's.
Oh my god, she was so amazing. Oh, Midsummer, the movie that came out this year. I think that's my movie of the year so far. I loved it. I saw it twice.
Really?
Summer.
Yeah.
What's that?
Wow. Is it like a? Is it
An
like an
horror?
art piece? Is it kind of like Hereditary? Like a?
It's from the same guy who did Hereditary.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's definitely, for me, Hereditary was like horrifying, and I wanted to look away. It was like super fucked up. But Midsummer was horrifying in like a beautiful way, and I just wanted to keep watching. Like it's just,
Oh.
I don't know, something about it, and I really enjoyed the meaning behind it too. It was very sad.
Wow. Because like Hereditary, like it's a depressing movie. It starts depressing,
fuck.
and then
It
it
just
just
beats you
goes
down.
downhill. Like,
And here's the ending. Demons.
Oh.
What?
yeah.
No hope. I thought that shit buzzing around them this whole time, that light, I thought that was like the ancestors. Maybe because I'm Hawaiian. I was just hoping it was some kind of ancestor trying to fucking be like a savior at the end. No, it's the Prince of Hell.
That's like
Jesus movie.
Yeah. We're dealing with hell. Like for real.
Fuck it. The movie just kept on going through layer and layer of like, oh fuck. But check this out. It's even worse than you thought. But check this out. It's even
kind of
worse
like
than you thought.
Is it Dante's Inferno? He's
kind of like as you descend the rings of hell.
No, he wants to go
Kind of.
down. He doesn't want to go up. He's
Right.
gonna stay down
Say
there.
Beatrice.
Wow.
Does he make it back? I don't know. I finished playing the game.
Oh, okay. Midsummer.
But yeah, that
okay.
movie. Oh my god.
I'm gonna put
Okay,
that on
I
my
have to
list.
check that out. Yeah,
Midsummer.
Hereditary was a surprise. Okay, do you like any lighter movies? Because even Truman Show, which was your lightest pick, is still kind of heavy.
Is that really my lightest pick? That can't be right.
Oh, LOTR is probably Amadeus.
light.
When you say light, you mean like happy ending?
Well, something that's, I don't know.
Well,
Actually, if you don't have light, I mean, hey, that's your picks. I just was wondering.
well, Aragon did marry Liv Tyler at the end, so that was happy.
Which ending? The 32nd or the 42nd?
I think it was the last. It was the definite last. No, that was.
But doesn't she like die, or she gets on a ship?
No,
Like,
they got on the
rob
boat
us
at the
of
end,
that
right?
Too,
So
right?
no, and then
No,
they were
this is
together?
Immortal life.
right.
Don't you know that?
I missed it, I guess. Okay, finally, because I was pulling for them the whole fucking story.
Yeah, they got on that boat at the end, right? And then Samwise is like,
okay.
he has to write his own chapter in the book now, I think. And they end on
The main thing is that Aragon, finally got some happiness. It's feeling a little bit bad for him. He's like the king, and
Well, do you know
he had to kill his homie.
at that point, like how old is he? He didn't break 100 yet, did he?
Aragon, I have no idea. I am not the guy.
Oh.
I like part 2 the most, I think.
Because they're older, right? Like the humans in Middle Earth they live longer.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I guess so.
like he's supposed to be in like his.
He was a Dunedain. He was blessed with long life. You guys even seen the movie?
Where did they? You tell me where they said that in the movie.
in the two towers while they were on their way to that fortress or whatever, I forget what it's called, Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep.
And
yeah.
I only watched the extended edition, so this might have been an
Oh.
extended scene.
I saw the.
Well, regardless, we probably should have known. Like, I think I got turned off by. I think this is the ending. No, one more. Okay.
That was
I think
a
this is the
long
ending.
movie. Yeah.
Nope, one more. Okay, but I mean, at that point, you have a lot of threads to tie up. So, and you won Best Picture. So,
Talking about my favorite right there. Be careful.
But see, I didn't like it because that was the same year Lost in Translation was up for awards, and Return of the King was like sweeping up. I think it was that year. Yeah.
Well, it's a cinematic achievement. I mean, I think it should have got Best Picture because of all of the visual effects. What visual effects did fucking Lost in Translation have done?
It was shot on film by Sofia Coppola because film is more romantic.
The reason The Godfather 3 sucks. I'll give you a hint. He's Italian. Oh my God.
Damn.
I just can't even read her. Everyone else firing on all cylinders, and then there's her.
Talk about indie filmmaking. This Lost in Translation is as indie as it can get.
Well,
I haven't seen that.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Jinx.
It's a masterpiece.
Well, if you think about it, though, at this point, it's like almost 20 years old. So
yeah.
I think
fucking Bill Murray was up for Best Actor.
He was up for Best Actor.
He lost to Sean Penn for.
He should have though for Mystic River.
Yeah. But Sophia did walk away with, I think, original script.
Best writer. Yeah.
And then she was up for Best Director too. So
she was.
Yep. And that was like.
That was a big thing.
Scarlett Johansson. Like,
I think that was like her breakout.
Yeah. Well, that was the first movie I saw.
Oh shit, we gotta watch her.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. I saw her in The Girl with the Pearl Earrings.
I don't know how you made it through that movie.
Because of Scarlett Johansson, that's why.
No,
I
it's
needed
not.
to know
and Cillian
how
Murphy
she becomes the girl in the painting.
Like,
oh, that's right, he was the guy.
Like, that movie is so boring. Like, you got you got Scarlett Johansson and Cillian Murphy in the same movie, but it's still
it shouldn't drag.
It dragged across concrete. That's what should have been the title of this movie, because you can't get through it.
Okay, so there's two movies I know of that you hate. Wow. Okay, good.
Oh, Blood Chocolate and Girl. Yeah, you can put that on the list.
Girl with the. That's a weird movie to hate. It's like an art movie. You can't to call an art movie boring. That's like it's called a horror movie. Like, why is there horror?
There's slow burn movies, and then you have Girl with the Pearl Earring. No.
Just watch Transformers then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other movies you want to shout out that speak to your?
I think we've gone through enough.
Yeah, that's a good list though. That's a good list. Nice.
Very good list. Very interesting list. I'm so glad you brought up Amadeus.
They're all Oscar winners. Amadeus. Well, you got
Oh yeah.
Truman Show, LT, or Double Life of
Truman Show won.
I think it was nominated. I don't know if Ed Harris won for something. I think he might have been nominated.
He should have won for The Rock. As Brigadier General Francis L. Hummel.
That's his best role to date.
Best bad guy in an action movie ever. Well, top 5 maybe.
You can't say bad guy. Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Well, antagonist.
Yeah.
And that was a Michael Bay film.
And that's one of Michael Bay's finest achievements in cinema. And the first Bad Boys. Shout out to Michael Bay.
Very true. Well, Anela, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anela,
for talking today.
Chatting with us today.
Hope it was good.
It was excellent.
It was excellent. Yes. Good luck on finishing up and releasing of Mole.
Hope you guys my premiere.
Yes.
It's on
in a film showcase.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ohina Labs.
Yep, Ohina Labs. All the good folks down at Ohina. Good luck with writing your first feature and directing more shorts.
Good luck writing your scripts, your pilot.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Anela. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Thank you for checking it out. Be sure to check out this episode's show notes for links to all our social media sites. But other than that, be sure to visit our website, neckomedia.com. That's Nekko media.com. And we also be on Twitter and Instagram. Very active on both of those. And you can check those out at cynical_mass. That's CINECAL_MASS. And feel free to get in touch through email, cinephiles@gmail.com. Any movie recommendations, we'd love to check it out. Any screeners, we'd love to review. Any potential guests, we love having guests on the show too.
Yeah, if you're a filmmaker, fucking hit us a line and we'll get you on the show. Ask you your top 6 movies and what it's like to be an artist like you.
Oh yes. And any fellow cinephiles and Cenobites, you are welcome.
Yes.
Any place that they can hit you up, Marks?
At villainous_kind, Instagram and fucking Twitter, but don't bother. I rarely check it except when I'm drunk. So
okay.
I'd either send it to Ono or the show.
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at thisisono. That's this is OHNO. Same goes for Instagram.
Oh
no. Yup. All right. Well, thank you again. Take it away, Annika.
This has been a Nekko Media podcast broadcasting from the Blood Cave, part of the /Potter family. For myself, Annika Pussyfoot, Mox, and Ono, keep the lights on and check under that bed because there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you. Stay rating, Wokeland.
We have candy. Tigers